with my whole history with energy, I would say feeling it first through meditation, as I'm seeing like my mindset and how I feel on the inside is changing, not just emotionally and tapping into that. And then as I got older, um, I just became more in tune with that. And as I've been in the community where more people were doing this, a different Reiki master, she kind of taught me how to do it, and how I was perceiving how to do it myself in my experience. I looked to a friend and also another amazing friend, Kelly, on how to do it correctly, just from what I've seen and felt from her doing it with me and other people. I was like, I can use this anytime. And so now I use that, my knowledge. I've gone down like this rabbit hole of how to use different types of energies now. And I teach people like through like qigong or tantra. And now I feel it's the time for me to officially, all right, you got the basics down, but let's do that, like get that distance healing, get that level 3 certificate maybe of Reiki. And I love being here sharing that space with you all right now. That's me.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a beautiful journey with Chad, just watching him deep diving into the world and growing and expanding his wealth of knowledge. His classes are incredible. I felt them ethereally. So, there'll be an opportunity for everyone to connect here if you're interested in that. Thank you all for playing in Mercury retrograde, coming in perfect timing, coming in with a bang. Here we are. Geez, oh man. I appreciate the patience and the flexibility for sure. Would anyone else like to share their experience before we begin? Or you can even share what brought you here today. If there's something that you're like, yo, I definitely make sure we touch on this, let me know, because I'm here to serve.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Maya. I seem to always come across healers no matter where I am, and I've had a lot of energy work done on me, but no one said exactly that it was Reiki, but I don't know what they were doing. They said they were just doing energy work, and that's where they left it. So I might have had that experience. And I grew up with Tess Premack, who knows Kelly, who knows you. And she came over and I read her cards. And before I read people's cards, I like to kind of tap into their energy so I don't project. And she felt it really strongly. So she suggested that I connect with you and learn what you have to offer. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Tess, I love that goddess. So good to have you here. Thank you. And yeah, we're all healers, and there's different outlets for us to share that and create and be in that space. But more than ever, those of us that are really hearing that and feeling called to it, this is the time to really explore. So thank you on behalf of the collective and the new earth and everything that's happening. Thank you for listening to that call and diving deeper into it. Cool, let's get started. It's 8:22. I'm gonna really do my best to really honor the time that we said. I'm still working on it. Anyone who's ever sat with me in any kind of space, we know it's a thing, but I'm really gonna do my best. So I'm gonna pull up some slides here, again, just to kind of help keep us on track for a little bit. So let's just begin with what is Reiki. Reiki comes from Japan. It was discovered in the late 1800s, and it breaks into two different Japanese words, rei, R-E-I, and ki, Reiki. go. Open that. You're looking at that. We'll present. Bada bing, bada boom. Technology. Working on it. I'm still writing most of my notes and everything on paper and pen, and then have to convert it to technology. I add a lot more time to every task I do, but we're getting there. That's why we have teamwork. Anyway, I digress. So what is Reiki? It's the two different words. Reiki is REI, which translates to universal life force, and Ki, which translates to energy, Chi, prana, Ki, all these different words that we have. So when we put these two words together, we receive the understanding of the universal life force energy. So essentially when we're working with Reiki, we're working with the universal life force energy, the energy that all is. It's the unconditional love and light that is available of pure source, that we simply allow ourselves to become the channel of. This is something I really emphasize more in level 2 when people become a practitioner, but it begins right here, right now, is that reminder of it's not us. It's never us doing it. It's always simply allowing ourselves to just be a vessel for this universal life force energy to move through us. And since it's all knowing, it's this pure unconditional love and light, it knows exactly where it needs to go and what it needs to do to help restore balance to mind, body, and spirit, to help elevate our vibration so we're at a higher state of being, aligning closer to our higher self. And when we're in our higher self state, that's when we have optimal health, a healthier mindset, we feel more connected to everything and everyone. And so it's all working together in this symbiotic fashion, okay? A little bit more of the grounded science level of it. When we're working with Reiki, whether it's on a self practice or on another, it helps the mind go into beta waves very quickly. So we're able to drop into a meditative state without having, it's kind of like cheating. It's kind of like cheating on your meditation practice, where you can get into a meditative state faster, which is allowing the body to deeper relax. And it supports to bring the body into homeostasis. And when the body's in the state of homeostasis, it starts to regenerate and heal itself. So we're able to really do true healing on a molecular level using this. There's actually been a study done by Harvard where they did the vitals of someone pre and post Reiki, and they were able to see differences in their vitals, that they were more relaxed and they were overall, their state of being was healthier. There's not many scientific data studies out there right now. I'm calling them in and I'm looking for them as much as possible, because the more data, the more we'll be able to bring these into even more spaces. It's available in a lot of hospitals and things. But essentially, we're being able to heal ourselves and help others heal themselves through the body, through a healthier mind, elevating their vibration, which brings them closer to connecting to spirit, or ourselves to spirit. So we won't go too deep into the history, but I love teaching this stuff, so we're going to go just a little bit. So as I mentioned before, Reiki was discovered by Dr. Usui in the late 1800s in Japan. And there's a couple of different stories that go along with how he ended up getting to Mount Karama. However, some things we do know for a fact is that Dr. Usui came from an affluent family. So they were very well off. He was very highly educated. He studied with some monks. He studied different religions. He was very well versed. And he was a college professor at one part of all of his many different kinds of lives. And the story that we've received through the lineage that I've studied through is that one day in class, someone asked him, how is it that all of these previous masters were able to perform healing with their hands? And he didn't have the answer. And he's someone who enjoys having answers to questions when they're asked. And so I imagine he got a little tiffed. And it brought him into asking the question of how did they do this? And so this sent him on a journey. And this journey led him to meditating on a mountain for 21 days. And he almost gave up, but he decided to stick it through. And on the 21st day, he received this transmission, this overwhelming wave of energy, this understanding, and these, what we can call light codes, and what he learned to be sacred symbols. And he just received the answer through an energetic response. And I imagine his initial response was like, oh my gosh, like, what do I even do with this? And needed a couple of days to integrate it. However, once he was settled into it and he had a better understanding, he went back to the village and he went to a leper colony. And immediately he started to perform healings on those who had leprosy, and it began to work. I'm going to fast forward a bit along the journey. We can deeper dive into it. However, he opens a hospital, he opens a school. He has one student, Dr. Hiyashi. His story's pretty cool. All of that leads us to Mrs. Takata, who was the daughter of 2 Japanese immigrants in Hawaii. And I'm going to nutshell her story. She was ill. Some family experiences caused her to have to go to Japan. And while she was there, she continued to get sicker and sicker. And she landed in the hospital. And they wanted to do all these procedures, and they wanted to do all these things. And she didn't want to do any of that. And she just kept hearing this voice saying, ask if there's another way. Ask if there's another way. Ask if there's another way. And so finally, she did. And they said, well, there is this alternative healing option, this clinic. She said, okay, I'm into that. So she starts to receive Reiki twice a day, every day for 2 weeks, and she becomes completely healed. So obviously she was like, yes, please, I want some more of this. So Dr. Hiyashi agreed to become her teacher. And he taught her level 1 in Japan. She went back to Hawaii. He followed her and taught her level 2 and her master's, and helped her develop a school there. Mrs. Takata is a badass mamma jamma that we know and we love, because perhaps another way, because what's meant to be will always be, and what's meant for us will always come to us. However, it's because of Mrs. Takata we have Reiki here in the Western society. Before she passed, she had attuned 13 Reiki masters, in which most of our lineage comes from Dr. Yusui, Dr. Hiyashi, Mrs. Takata, one of the 13 masters as she attuned, and then moving forward through there. So that's just a bit of the history. And again, if you have any questions that are coming up, just throw them in the chat and we can go through them. Next slide, please. Okay. So Reiki is more than just a practice that we do in a day-to-day. Reiki is really a lifestyle. And the everyday in our morning practice, hopefully those who have the gift of being attuned to Reiki and practicing, they give themselves the gift of practicing, daily. We recite these principles, and it's also something that I invite you, whether you begin to receive Reiki healings, whether you decide to become attuned even to level 1 for your own self-practice, or to further on, whatever you feel called to. I invite you to walk away tonight with these principles. This is one of the gifts for you. Feel free to take a screenshot if you'd like to write them down. But we live by these principles. And so just for today, okay, don't worry about how you showed up yesterday. It doesn't matter, you can't touch it. And don't worry about how you're gonna arrive and navigate your day tomorrow. Again, we can't touch it. Just for today, I will not anger. And this doesn't mean that we don't experience the emotion of anger. Anger is actually a really healthy emotion. It's a great jet fuel to get things done and to light that fire. But it means we don't hold on to anger. And just for today, I will not worry. And for today, I'll be grateful for all my blessings, We like to extend this to I honor my parents, my teachers, my elders. And for today, I'll work with honesty and integrity. I make my living honestly. And just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. I show gratitude for everything. Just for today. Yesterday, I might have sucked at being a human, but it doesn't matter. And tomorrow, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Just for today, I do not worry. And just for today, I do not anger. I honor my parents, my teachers, my elders. I make my living honestly, and I show gratitude for everything. So this is what we begin to instill within ourselves, the pillars of the practice. And working with Reiki helps us to attune our frequency to this state. And we can talk a bit more when we take a little curveball and talk about being a state of like frequency and attuning ourselves to those things in general. So we do have the different levels of being attuned to Reiki. I've been saying that, and just for clarity, what does it mean to be attuned to Reiki? So we have these different trainings and these different attunements, and in each attunement, we're receiving the gift of having, we can think of it almost like there's like a valve over our head, and we are opening the valve and allowing a certain amount of this divine nectar, this light, this universal life force energy to be able to go through our energy system and begin to work with it. So in level 1, we have the first opening of the valve, and we learn how to channel and hold the energy of Reiki within our body and within our energy field. Because the body, our energy field, our spirit, our soul, whatever you want to call it and resonates for you, isn't in the body. The body's in the energy, it's in the soul, it's in the spirit. So we learn how to be able to hold the energy of Reiki through the whole system. In level 1, we're also elevating the vibration to a higher baseline. So with each attunement, our baseline frequency is being elevated and we sustain at that. So even when you're having a low day, you know, you're like, oh, I'm low vibe, and I air quote that, you know, like you're still at a higher baseline. So you're tuning into a different frequency and a way of living and your day-to-day with it. Because we're going through and we're practicing on ourselves every day, we're connecting deeper with our energy system, understanding our chakras and the way that we work, connecting more with our higher self. We really, in level 1, it's a journey of really deep self-love and learning how to heal yourself and to get more aligned with what you truly want, need, desire, and elevate yourself closer to your higher self state. In level 1, we also talk about and learn how to share Reiki with food and with our water and with animals. We've also been putting in there charging your crystals and your plants and sharing this beautiful love with the trees, because we know that they all need it more than ever, because it's all love. So that's level 1. We have level 2. These are pictures coming from a group training that we did in 2018. It's been really beautiful. The heart space healers that have been coming through the academy for the last 3 years, we just recently reopened a WhatsApp group. So the communications evolved from just Facebook to now a WhatsApp group where people are connecting and sharing. Just been really beautiful. So it's fun to see this picture on here. I'm gonna have to put it into the group. I forgot that this picture is so beautiful. So in level 2, we're now expanding the amount of frequency that we have moving through us. So we're turning up the valve, think of it. And we do this in increments, because we can think of ourselves as if like we have these electric cables running through our body, and we want to increase the amount of electricity running through in a nice cadence so we don't blow a fuse, essentially, if you will. So in level 2, we turn up the amount of charge that is moving through the system, and we learn how to be able to hold that energy. How do we develop our morning practice, our day-to-day, and being able to hold that, and what does that mean for us? And again, so this is going to elevate your vibration to yet again another higher baseline. That's just your day-to-day way of being. And level 2 is where we become practitioners to others. So we learn how to be able to practice on another in a setting such as you see in the picture. We also learned how to share across time and space, like we were talking about earlier. I was sharing a distance session with an amazing woman in upstate New York right before this session here. I've worked with a woman in Russia, in Romania. I mean, energy knows no bounds, so we can really work anywhere and share this gift with anyone. And we can also share across time. So in level 2, we dive deeper into how do we send Reiki to the past? How do we send Reiki to the future? How can we really work to heal, do this deeper healing of past experiences? And how can we also bring this loving energetic support and heal and manifest from the future? It gets trippy, but it's really cool. So level 2 is a deepening of your connection to yourself, but this is also expanding into the connection of all that is and how infinite we all are and how truly connected we all are, and being able to share this with others. Again, in level 2, you are a certified practitioner. Those who work with me know that I am a stickler to traditions. I believe in honoring and respecting the lineage and the practice of all the teachers I've studied under and continue to be mentored by. We follow it because we honor the traditions. There's a cadence of learning level 1, being with that, and level 2, taking time to be in the energy field and then beginning to share with others. So know that if we do, embark on this journey together, there's, a beautiful process and cadence to it. And the reason for that is, one, yes, so just make sure your field is ready and you're able to serve others by abiding to yourself. And it's such a beautiful journey. Every attunement, every experience is so beautiful and it's so special. And you only get the first attunement of every experience one time. And so I invite you, for any experience you have, any training, any initiation, any attunements, and any spaces that you find yourself in, allow yourself to savor it. And whether that's working with me or with someone else, I am a full believer in I work with those that are meant we were meant to work together, so find someone that you deeply resonate with, but whomever you work with, whenever you do, enjoy the journey. Don't rush it, savor it. It's divine nectar. Drink on it, sip on it, get a little buzzed on it. It's really yummy. So we have those processes. With each of them, the attunement process is 21 days. So when we are getting attuned to level 1 or level 2, with these times, I've been playing a bit with what level 2 looks like, and we can talk about it in a moment. However, training looks like having the 1-day intensive where we go through deep dive into a manual. We learn the practices for ourselves, on others, on crystals, trees, water, food, etc., etc. And then we embark on an attunement journey, which is a 21-day journey. And I'm going to come off screen share for a moment because I want to be able to see people's faces. And then we're going to engage a little bit and we'll come back to slides. Yeah, here we go. Hi, beautiful people. Oh, so good. So with each attunement, we have a day where I usually say, and it's so fun because, when I embark on the journey with some of you guys, are like, okay, I know this is coming because there's certain things that are like milestones. Let's say truth is truth. The days of receiving the information in the manual can feel a little bit like, maybe you're feeling that a little bit here tonight, can feel like a bit like a fire hydrant to the face, just like so much information, like, oh my goodness. We can always trust that in every container, our consciousness is like remembering what it needs to, it's retaining it. The subconscious is also receiving what it's needing to, that's programming it. And you can trust that just through experience and continuing your journey. The other seedlings, they will harvest in their own time. Okay, so we really deep dive into the training, the manual, which is yours to have and to hold. And then we receive the attunement, which can feel much like receiving a Reiki session. Same, but very different. Where you'll have your own personal experience. They tend to be rather emotional. There's always a box of tissues on hand. And then the 21-day journey begins. And we had 2 students who just finished their 21-day journey. So getting to listen to, like, you know, their experience coming off of it, it's still so fresh and yummy. I'm standing on sacred land on a phone with them, watching us finish building a teepee this weekend, hearing them talk about their 21-day journey. And I was just like, man, life's so cool. So, and the 21 days, we can imagine like this flashlight has just been turned on and it's shining a light on all parts of our being. And so we go through these waves of, this is amazing, this is so good, this is exactly what it's supposed to be like, and I love spirit, I love Reiki, this is great. We also have parts that come through that we say, oh, I'm going to need to release this, you know, and maybe it's not it just drops right now, it's just an awareness. I realize that's not in alignment with where I'm heading or what I truly desire. There's going to be other things that come up, and maybe you say, I don't like this at all, but you feel it, and we heal it, and we send Reiki to it, and there's a releasing that happens. And we also find that there's a lot of things that just naturally drop off and disappear. It's very, very often that all of a sudden there's shifts in dietary choices, there's shifts in activities and movements. It's just, boom, something's just gone. I don't think there's been a single attunement journey that I haven't received some kind of, you're right, I no longer like this. Like one of the students most recently, she was like, Cal, I love truffle oil. She's like, let me rephrase that. I loved truffle oil. I went to use it the other day and my body was repulsed. She said, it's just like clearly like I can't have it. Someone else, tomatoes were strong. She was food shopping. She went to grab tomatoes and her body just screamed, no! Like, you know, just these little changes, because as our frequency changes, we essentially are living a different experience. We're still us at the core, but we're getting more close with who we are in our truth and our essence. And so with each attunement, we're changing our frequency. And so things are just going to kind of shift. So the 21-day journey is this process of our frequency, our baseline energy, kind of going a little, doing this as we're elevating ourselves to a baseline that's going to be higher. And so you're held through that with myself, with the Heart Space community, you know, with everyone who's on the journey. Because when I evolved from practicing to then teaching, I really sat with what's something I wish I had that I didn't when I was going through this journey. And it was community of people who understood. I was living in Princeton, New Jersey when all this was happening. No one around me was going through this. And I was like, I was already a very sensitive being. I've been highly empathic my whole life. I'm very sensitive to everything. So then opening this channel made me ultra sensitive to everything. And I was like, and no one gets me, you know, and it's wild time. So building the community aspect of it was really important to me. And so we started doing trainings and groups. We had the Facebook group, we now have the WhatsApp group. So that way you have people to talk with. And we're lucky that we're now getting to a place where more and more people are embracing their truth and their essence, you know, that we can find more like-minded, like-hearted beings to talk about this. But not everyone, you know, we're all coming from different places. So know that you have that as well. And I'm fully committed to, like, you're on this track with me, like, we're in this for life, you know, like, it was so beautiful. We had a level 1 student last week. She reached out, she said, I went to someone else for level 2. I'm back though, you know, like, I want to do level 2 and like keep going. Coming out, I was like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much. You know, like anytime you can always reach out and ask questions, and because we're all in this together. It's a journey together. So you have your 21 days, and what happens then? Hopefully you just keep going. You've hit this new baseline energy, and you know, keep flowing. every day that you're practicing on yourself, every time that you're giving yourself the gift of receiving it, you're diving deeper into your own ability to heal yourself, to resolve issues, to do these minor, aches and pains and changes, and go deeper diving into things. Then you have the choice to continue on your trainings. If you feel called to, like Maya, I know you're, feeling this pool of the flow and, exploring what that means. Maybe people here feel called to incorporate into a practice, or just on themselves or amongst their family, things of that nature, or you can just stay in a level. There's no obligations, even level 2 or masters, to ever practice on another person. The more that we heal ourselves and we're doing our own inner work, we're helping the collective as a whole anyway. So at the end of the 21 days, choose your adventure, just like you started. Is essentially what happens. But know that with us here, you will have community, and you can continue to grow on your journey and support it in whatever routes that you wanted to go. I'm going to pause there for a moment. And if there's any specific questions about Reiki sessions, about attunements, about anything that we just spoke on, please feel free to throw it in the chat or just use your beautiful voice, and we can just chat it out for a moment.
I had 2 questions.
Sure.
Okay. So you're talking about healing the past and future. So we can heal our question. Are you saying more so like we can heal ourselves, or maybe even ancestral trauma, and maybe we can change the trajectory of our future?
Yes, amazing. Good question, and the answer is yes. So we'll go a little bit deeper into it as well. We have the ability to go back into experiences, especially if it's ancestral. You can dial in and make it more of a macro. I'm sending Reiki to this generation. Say you've received some insight, some downloads of a specific piece of ancestral that you're looking to dial into. You can go into that. Or you could just set it as a macro of that. And by doing that, we can go back and help support those ancestors who are going through that trauma. And through that, because they've received that healing, it's going to help ripple through the rest of the generations of how you are able to arrive into situations today. Speeding it up a bit to live time, say you're doing your own past healing. And I'm going to use something a little bit more grounded. Say you played basketball in high school, and you had a game that you had a really severe injury to your knee or something. We can go back to that dynamic, and we learn how to drop into those, very vividly. And you can send Reiki to yourself in the time of the injury and hold it, so that way you help change the significance of the injury, which will then, as a result, help any remaining residual injury feelings or sensations you're having today. You can do this in emotional wounds. You can do this in emotional experiences with family, relationships, and dynamics like that. It's not going to be like, sometimes I wish it was, but I'm really glad it's not. It's not like the Ashton Kutcher movie of Butterfly Effect. Like we go back and do a healing, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my God, everything in my life is completely different. Low key, I have sometimes wished that would be, because that just be, I think it's when it's a hypothetical, that sounds really great and be really awesome, but it's not like that. It's very subtle. We can find it in our mindset. If it's something more of a physical, again, you might just begin to, the arthritis that's been in your knee or your wrist, all of a sudden it is no longer there. You may just notice the dynamics of the relationship is just feeling better. You may notice that your beliefs around, something, you go back and you heal something that happened when you're 7 years old, that hardwired a belief system that you're still living out at 42 years old. All of a sudden, since you were able to heal that little one, you're noticing that change here. So that's how we can play with going back into the past and seeing results lifetime. Thank you for that question.
thank you for that expansive, beautiful answer. Now, my second one was Reiki on animals. Um, I feel that it's more intuition based, but you're the master. Please tell us more about it.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we learn is that a four-legged is just as conscious and aware as a two-legged. So when we're working with the animals, there's still a process. Yeah, there's an intuitive flow to it, but there's still certain positions and they will speak to us. I love working on kids. I've been doing a lot of work with kids. I'm starting to train kids in Reiki. We'll plug in right now. Actually, Brittany, if you could low-key in the background, get the link for the workshop next week and put it in the chat for the Reiki with kids. That'd be amazing. Thank you. But when we're working with the animals, asking permission, and they'll let you know. Like, they'll keep it real. They'll definitely let you know. And then there's specific spaces that we can go. But yes, very intuitive. Yeah, we can get Damaris will help lead the way. As soon, yep, I felt her. I felt her presence.
Like, I literally have my crystals on her right now, so it's just like the perfect spot for this.
Beautiful. Thank you for your questions. Anyone else?
I have a question. Hi,
Yes.
Kelly.
Hi, Rob.
Thank you so much for this. Sorry for being so late.
Oh,
I overslept. Overdanced. Kelly, can you share with us any specifically magical experiences that felt like true quantum shift, whatever you can explain as something that is unexplainable, yet confirmation for magic exists and Reiki is one of
ooh,
those
what a great
modalities.
question. Yeah, we can go with, I'm going to do one of the most recent rapid manifestations that I prayed to and sent Reiki to and manifested within an hour. We'll keep it like, most simple lifetime right now. That I feel we could do a whole nother webinar on that. I would love to make a circle on. So thanks for that info. Maybe that's a collaboration to be had. So I made a move to Brooklyn after being back in the suburbs for 4 months. I arrived in Brooklyn and my guides, my body, my field said, this is not right for you, girlfriend. Not anymore. And I said, okay, you right. Like, I could feel it. I was like, yep, you're right. And I was like, okay, so where to next? And so I felt into it and I said, okay, let's get clear. What do I need right now? What's going to help me feel most aligned and be good in that space? And so I said, okay, beach. Beach is a good spot when you need a nice clearing. You have the ocean energy, you have all the elements you can lock into, with a beach. It's like beach, a space of my own, definitely no roommates right now, like maybe in time, but like no roommates, space on my own, something that has been activated by healers already and allows me to embrace my artistic expression. Clear. Got that. I held it. I sent Reiki to it, held it. I said, I thank you. I saw myself in the space. I sent Reiki to that. I sent Reiki to Kelly in Brooklyn. And within an hour, I received a call from a friend, a dear sister. And she said, Kel, I would attempt to do her accent right now, but I'll just butcher the story because you'll also just be focused on how terrible my accent impression is. In my improv team, they always used to poke fun during our skits. If I tried to do an accent, took away from the whole skit. Anyway, they said, Kel, I'm going to be moving into this apartment, but we'd have to pay double rent for a couple of months just because of the way the lease moves over. My friend Irina, she's an amazing healer. She's a human design coach. She's moving to Costa Rica. Spirit's leading her there. She has an amazing spot. It's her own. She lives 3 minutes from the beach. All the things. Like, I know that you were saying something about like maybe needing a spot. Like, are you interested? And I was like, why, yes, I am. Why, thank you. And then I stopped and also had the thought, I said, but wait, my only resistance to saying yes to this would be I would need a car in that area. You know, like when you're in Brooklyn or in the city, you need a car. And I was like, all right, Spirit, we're going to need to whip up a car too. I had a rental. It was my birthday weekend. I had a car so I could go do shenanigans wherever I wanted to and just like, you know, do the things. So I arrive and I tell Irina, you know, my only resistance, she goes, oh, well, I have a car. I'm going to be living in Costa Rica. Just use my car. You have a car now. Easy peasy. Yeah, I know. I too was like, well done, Spirit. Well done. So that was definitely one where, you know, that's the beautiful home I'm in right now, reporting lifetime. So that was a beautiful, you know, Spirit's listening, and the more clarity that we have of what it is that we're needing, and especially when it's really truly in alignment, coming from the pure intention of, I just want to serve, I want to be my best self, I want to be my highest self, Spirit will provide. And then we can use all of these energies, but Reiki in particular, this unconditional, pure love and light that's always working with the intention of the highest, greatest good. When we put that behind our prayers, well, it brings us, you know, outcomes that are for the highest, greatest good. And thank you for that question, because that brings me to a Reiki staple of one of the many reasons I love Reiki is it is pure unconditional love and light. So you can't do harm with it. I've had some level 2 students who've had like a strong like aversion to even thinking about practicing on, you know, the students that were in class with them, or distance. They're like, I don't want to hurt someone. I don't want to mess up, which is just beautiful. It just shows a level of like heart that's there, and which shows that they're an even better healer, you know? But I was like, okay, like if you don't want to, I'm not gonna make you do anything. Like, you're a free-willed human, do whatever you want. But just that reminder that you can't do harm with Reiki. It's all intention and it's pure unconditional love and light. And so it's always working for the highest, greatest good of all. If anyone were to try to use it in a malicious way or try to like somehow make pure unconditional love and light dark, powers would just be taken away. So that's another space of that. So we're always working with the highest, greatest good, and it's pure light energy there. So thank you for that, Nat. So good to have you on the call. Anyone else? Any questions? Amazing. Okay, so there's a couple of different, I promise we're gonna talk about Venus Gate. I promise we're gonna get into what is this Venus Gate thing happening, which is fun. It's actually setting in at like 10 o'clock tonight. So we'll like be getting off of this, and you can just like go drink your water. You can like drink lots of water, have a little grounding snack, drink a little bit more water, maybe do some journaling. And then you can like sit in for the Venus Gate, which is already open, but it'll be at its grand peak tonight. So there's a couple of different ways that we can embark on the Reiki path through this space, through the Heart Space, through the Heart Space Healing Academy. There's of course receiving sessions where right now I'm doing primarily distance. Energy knows no bounds. Like we said, we're zapping migraines left and right up in upstate New York right now. I have been doing some in person when they align to have clients set together up in the city or in New Jersey, so that is sometimes available. I like to be really transparent and honest. Most of my work is distance right now, but there's time to times of that in person. We've been doing sets of 3 session minimum. I have added to the site single sessions right now that we're just going to keep up for the week. So if you wanted to explore a single session, you can book through that. Brittany's going to start to put the links in here. So if you want to explore that. And again, if you just want to be served, or you're just feeling lazy, or you have a question and you just want to message Brittany and say, hey, I'd like to set something up, you know, you can reach out to her and we'll get you set up. So you can book a single session for the next week. You don't have to use the session this week. Just book it through the website by this week. And the reason of the 3-session minimum, let me explain that. It's not just being like, oh, I'm gonna do 3 sessions. There's intention behind it. Typically, we work in these sessions of 3. There's a lot of power in the number of 3. 3 is a number of completion. It's a number of the pyramids, a very powerful symbol of the pyramid, which also has something to do with Venus. Love how these things all just come together. So when we're working the sessions of 3, you can think of we move through a cycle of something that we're moving through. So there's the beginning, there's the middle, there's the end. So that's why you'll see on the site that we have the 3 sessions, 6 sessions, and 9 sessions. It's moving through these different cycles of healing and growth and evolution that you can invest in to move through that. Just for those that are here, you're feeling curious, those who are feeling curious to get attuned, I do require getting at least 1 session before we move into training, just so you know, you can have a nice little tune-up going and we can kind of get you acclimated to the lineage. So there is the single session available for now that you can book. If you just want more, you just want to chat, you're like, I need more information, I'm curious, you know, like, I'm not ready to like fully surrender and just receive the unconditional love and light or jump into my path, I just want to talk. You can also just book a one-on-one chat. If you can't tell, I love to talk about this stuff. So it's even better when we're talking together and I don't feel like I'm just talking at you so much. So you're welcome to put a time on my calendar with the Calendly link there to chat that a bit more. Or if you're feeling like in your body, you're getting a yes, and like you're feeling, I want to at least embark on level 1. You want to attune yourself, you want to heal yourself, you want to do that. We do have a level 1 training coming up on, Brittany, when is it? The 16th? Next, it's the 3rd Sunday.
It is the 20. It is the actually training should be
the 18th,
next
right?
Sunday coming. Yes, the 18th.
Beautiful. Yeah, so we have level 1 is the 3rd Sunday of every month. So if you're feeling like right now you're amped, you're charged, you're like, I want to do it, and like, let's set up a call. You know, still like you're welcome to register. I would still like to hop on a call with you before, just because, like I said, we're in this journey together. It's like, oh, cool, you came in for journey. Here's your certificate. Bye. No, like, I'm making a spiritual commitment to hold you and be on this journey with you. So even if you just register on the Eventbrite, you're getting a call. You know, we have it this month, but know that the 3rd Sunday of every month is a level 1 training. So if you're not feeling it right now, but you know, like you look at your calendar and December is your month or whatever it is, on the Eventbrite, we have it set out. So you can register for what month is going to work for you for whenever, and you can hold your space for that. But the 3rd Sunday of every month, I've committed to the level 1 training. We have the level 2 training coming up. I don't know if anyone on the call has been attuned to level 1 before. If you have, you know, then obviously level 2 is an option for you. Again, another conversation needs to be had. I need to learn of your experience, where your practice is right now, who is your teacher, all those fun things. But level 2 is the 4th Sunday of every other month. So I do level 2 bi-monthly right now. So we have one coming up on the 25th, and then we'll have another in December, which I'm going to realizing now we're going to have to change the date on, because, I mean, doing an attunement on Jesus's birthday would be pretty lit. But I don't think a lot of people would actually be into it. So we're gonna have to adjust that one, but stay tuned for that. And then master is by invite only right now. Just to kind of give you, I know we didn't even talk about the master right now because we're here, we're gonna be where we are, but know that the master attunement is where you then learn how to be able to attune others as well, and become a teacher if you so choose to walk that path. So those are the different kind of next steps that are available. Again, I love talking about this. We'll find time on the calendar for it. If you want to just receive a tune-up, receive a session, you can book a single session, or if you're knowing you're going through an evolution or really working through something. I know a lot of women personally have been doing a lot of like womb clearings, doing a lot of like sexual healings and all those things. That's a lot what's coming through to me right now, or fertility. A lot of women with a lot of womb stuff has been coming up. So I always recommend 3 sessions with that, 3 sessions and a call. And also the trainings. I'm going to pause again because I'm lit and I'm just talking. Pause again for any new questions that are coming up for anyone. If you have any specific questions of a little bit more like the logistics of what a session looks like, what training looks like, or anything like that, I can pause here, or just something randomly moving through you that you want to express. And welcome, Susie. I want to honor and say that I see you. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi. So I guess I just have the question about kind of what the training commitment would be, because right now my schedule is kind of all over the place. So kind of just an idea of, is it a regular, you said there's an attunement every 3rd Sunday, but are there other kind of days in the training after that?
Yeah, great question. So we have the one day, so we'll use this month in particular just as the main example. So we have the 18th, the 18th at 11 a.m. Times and things like that is flexible once we have the group in the container. For example, the 25th, I have 2 level 2 students who are coming through. We adjusted the time because one's applying to a bunch of grad school, so she needs a chunk for her applications. So it's, we're not a cookie cutter, we're a spiritual solopreneur here, with an amazing left-hand woman, Brittany. I'm not a solopreneur anymore. I'm sorry, Brittany. I see you. I honor you. I'm so grateful to have you on the team. Getting used to it. So we start on the 18th as of right now at 11. And then the training container is about 4 hours, going through the manual, having a little break, integration, conversations, going on some meditations, some journeys. And then we have the attunement process. There you are. The squares just shifted on me a bit, and so I wanted you asked the question, so I was like looking at you as I spoke, but you moved on my screen, so I got a little moved because I'm looking at you. Then I wasn't. So we'd be looking at about 4 hours of moving through the manual, the attunement, and then from there it's a daily commitment to yourself, but moving as a collective every day doing your practice. So we learn how to start our morning off with our morning practice and set that. And so for the next 21 days minimum, hopefully forever, you continue on with that practice, but that's what the daily commitment would look like. So it's really like a 22-day commitment with a 4 hour, 4, 5, it really depends on the group and how we're moving, but I would say commit the day, because then you can integrate, do your practice. Again, drink lots of water always, but drink lots of water, do your bath, journal, really integrate the experience of the attunement. And then it's a morning practice every day and just having that spaciousness to do the work and connect with yourself. Cool. Any other questions of any logistics or things coming up? And again, if there's any, scheduling a call, booking online, or trainings that you want to do, but for whatever reason it's easier for us to just do it, feel free to message Brittany over there and we'll take care of it. We'll be sending a follow-up tomorrow with the replay and with everything as well. So know that you'll have that there. As promised, we're just going to talk about Venus Gate for a moment, because we're and then we will just do a few breaths to close. I'm so proud of myself. Thank you guys for helping me to stay focused, and we all work together as a team to finish close-ish to the ending time. So I'm really working on honoring everyone's time, because time is a man-made construct, but it's real here. So we have Venus Gate. I digress. We have Venus Gate happens a few times every year. And it is a time where we are opening the space for Lady Venus, who we can also associate, you can think of like Aphrodite, these energies, this goddess energy of love, of beauty, of miracles, manifestation, of sensuality, of all these really beautiful, we can think of it like a kiss from the divine feminine herself. We're in an expansive space of that gate tonight. So it's a really lovely night to hold a space for yourself, to meditate, to breathe in, to allow yourself to receive any divine healings or channelings that want to come through. It's a beautiful night to get clear of writing some intentions from your heart of what you want in love, what you want just in your life in general, and calling in these miracles. There is a mantra. I'm a Kundalini practitioner on the side. So mantra is really important to me. So I just want to share in the chat a mantra that is really nice that correlates with Venus, that you can also use tonight, that just helps to invoke this energy a bit more as well. So you're welcome to use that, and you can learn it and chant along with it, or just have it playing in the background. Just like with Reiki, we're working with our energy field and frequency, and we're changing our vibration. And we dive into the power of our thoughts and our experiences and the words in training as well. A lot of us creating our reality goes into level 1 training. Sound is very important. And so when we can work with these mantras and these different experiences, we can start to add them into our vibrational field, which can help shift our state of being and the experience we have in our lives. So this mantra that you receive here in the chat is really nice for helping activate this Venus energy that's coming through us today. Just like we have with Reiki, you know, it's this consciousness. We're forming a relationship with an energy. So like I said, I made the joke earlier, when we go into training, you go on a date and you know you're going home with it and you're married. Because once you're attuned, you're attuned. You can walk away from your practice, but it's still in your energy field, which is such a blessing of like, why not get attuned? You're raising your baseline frequency even if you never practice again. Hopefully you continue to practice. Like, again, it's a gift, why not? But you at least have that baseline energy. Hence why we're going to get every, up to 11-year-old attuned to level 1 Reiki one of these days. Just that way we have elevated children. We're working on it. One kid, one workshop at a time. So tonight with the Venus Gate, it's great to tap into your divine feminine, to make those intentions. Invitation to, invoke Reiki. If you're curious, if you're feeling, is this for me? You can really, just set an intention to have it made aware to you at what level, are you to work with it. There's so much power in us setting these intentions, and tonight's a really lovely night to work with the divine feminine. If you have any more, questions around all of this, you are more than welcome to shoot us an email. Brittany, you're on top of it. Fire. You can send an email to heartspacematters@gmail. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I am Kelly Keefe on Instagram. So I'll put that in the chat. If you aren't with me there, you're welcome to join me there. We also have our Space Healing Academy Instagram. Now that we've moved through this wave of getting all you beautiful people here and our follow-up, we'll be moving back into our social media a bit more. But you're welcome to throw any questions at me there. And, I hope to get to chat with you all on phone calls at the minimum. So please feel free to set up a session. Give it a shot, give it a try, see what comes alive for you. And I'll check the training to make sure that we have it scheduled out through at least February, so you can find what works best for you in terms of training, and trust your alignment, trust the timing. There's no rushes to anything. You know, I encourage, as someone who has done the game of both jumping ahead too soon and then waiting too long, you know, knowing the timing is everything. There is a beauty to timing. You know, so if there's a strong charge in you and it's like, it's a yes, it's a now, feel into it, take some breaths and feel into it. You know, like there's can be power in that. But if you're also hearing that it's a yes, but not right this moment, honor that too. You know, we're all our own best guides, we're our best healers. You know, this is all your journey, and I'm here to support you in what's best for your highest, greatest self and your unfolding. Okay. So before we take breaths and we close, any other final questions, thoughts, weird things that are flowing through your head that are considered appropriate if there were to be a child in the room listening back to this that you would like to share before we close? Okay, amazing. So with that said, let's all close as we began, closing our eyes, allowing ourselves to bring our awareness to the breath moving in and out the nose. Perhaps allowing ourselves to trace the breath with a light running up and down the body, breathing in light, allowing that to fill down, down, down the spine. And this white light coursing back up, rising out the top of the head. Allowing yourself to bring an awareness to any shifts, any changes, any sensations in the body, in the mind, in the spirit from when we began. Again, not judging, not changing, just observing. Bringing our focus to the center of the chest. Bringing an awareness, expressing gratitude to the heart space. This potent electromagnetic field, this inner compass that is the heart space. The bridge of the physical and the non-physical. Perhaps allowing yourself to breathe from the heart for a few breaths here. Breathing into the heart and out of the heart. Using the imagination, maybe experiencing a light radiating from the heart space. If a color arrives, allow it, trust it. Taking that expansive energy and light and pull it back in a bit. Allowing it to fill the body. Placing a beautiful golden band around your energy field. Setting the intention now for this beautiful healing energy to remain active and protected in your sacred bubble for the next 24 hours. And if it feels good, simply doing a quick check An appreciation to the soft flame resting in the sacral and the womb space. Observing the size, the shape, the color, the sensation of the flame in the sacral, a few inches below the belly button. Bringing your awareness to the fire in the heart space. Observing the color, the shape, the size, the sensation of the fire in the heart. And bringing your awareness to the fire in the mind. Observing the color, the size, the shape, the sensation of the flame within the mind. With this Holy Trinity activated, mind, body, spirit working all together, allowing yourself to observe yourself as this one solid flame, connecting mind, body, spirit. As it feels good, bringing your palms together, bringing them to the heart space, bringing yourself a bit more connected back to the body. Taking a moment to bless yourself with gratitude for taking some time out of your day to show up here today, to connect with yourself, with others, to explore a new space, to learn, to grow, to receive. And taking a moment to express that gratitude to everyone else here doing the same, knowing that we've created this container all together and it wouldn't be the same without you here. I'd like to take a moment to express gratitude to the Reiki masters of past, present, and future who are here with us today. Expressing gratitude to all the ancestors, all the elders, all the teachers that are supporting me and everyone here along our paths. I want to express gratitude to the earth for providing us with all this abundance and all this beauty, all the support, the groundedness, providing the path for our feet to walk on. Thanking water, the clean drinking water. May all beings have clean drinking water around the world. Thank you for the hydration, the purification, the flow. Thank you to the fire within ourselves and all around, keeping that passion, the fuel, the willpower, and the purity, the purification all upon us. And thank you to the sweet air, the breath. It keeps everything moving and flowing, reminding us that we don't need to see things, just feel them to know that they are real. Taking a moment to express gratitude to any beings, any things, any essences in which you would like to express your gratitude to in this prayer, in this moment. And with that, taking one final deep breath all together. And releasing. Bringing the hands down to the lap as it feels good. Blinking open the eyes. Returning back to the space. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be hanging out for a bit longer here. If anyone has any questions, they want to hang. Again, one more time in the chat, we have links if you want to book a heart-to-heart conversation. If you'd like to book a single session, we're going to have that up on the site just for the next week, and then it's going to go back to 3-session minimum. So you can book that. Or if you're ready to sign up for a training, let me know. And you're welcome to email us at heartspacematters@gmail.com or find me on Instagram. So thank you guys all so much. We'll be sending out a replay so you can just like watch your beautiful faces all up in here over and over again every day if you want. But also feel free to share the replay with others if they weren't here. If you know that they didn't sign up, but you feel they would benefit from this knowledge, feel free to share that when that hits your inbox tomorrow. We'll have links to everything that's there. And knowing me and the way I go, there'll probably be another link to something that might be cool, like throw it in there or something. So yeah, I thank you all. Have a beautiful night. Drink water. Drink lots of water. Even if you're like, oh my gosh, I've drank so much water. That's a perfect time to go drink one more glass of water. Anytime we open these spaces, there's a lot of energy moving through, especially in this last closing, turned into a little bit of an activation, which is fun. Venus has been crazy. Stoke Your Fire class this morning was whew, next level. So it's a really beautiful day. Enjoy Venus Gate. Enjoy your mantras, your prayers, setting your intentions. And I look forward to speaking with all of you in whatever capacity and whatever timeline that may be. So much love to you all. Thanks for following your heart. Satnam Waheguru. Ciao, ciao.